Hey friends, today I'm going to be showing you guys some healthy, easy, and cheap meal ideas. So when I think of cheap meals, I typically am thinking about the different types of meat cuts that I can use that are a little bit cheaper. So you're going to see a lot of ground beef, maybe some ground pork, also some chicken breast, just the cheaper cuts that you can find. And the cool thing is that cheap meals do not have to be gross or boring at all. In fact, cheap meals can actually be so good and tasty. And so today I'm going to be showing you guys 5 different meal ideas that won't break the bank, but that will still be very delicious for your family to enjoy and very quick to make on a whim or a weeknight dinner. For this first meal, I am making some orange chicken. So to start with this, I am cutting my chicken up into 1-inch bite-sized pieces and breading them with some flour, salt, and pepper. And I'm going to pan sear them here on my stove. And while these cook, I'm going to work on my orange sauce. One tip that I have when you're trying to make budget-friendly meals is to buy food that is in season, or anytime that you see a great deal, go ahead and buy a bunch of it and stock up on it while it is on sale. With my orange chicken, I'm going to be making some rice. Rice and potatoes are very inexpensive and great sides to have with a lot of different meals and cuisines. Now with rice, one way to make it a lot more tasty, in my opinion, is to cook it in bone broth or maybe some chicken broth, depending on what you have on hand, rather than just water. Adding in some different spices and herbs can really flavor up a simple dish like rice. With this, I'm also going to be making an Asian chop salad. So I'm using a bunch of herbs and vegetables. Again, lots of root vegetables this time of year because it's easy to find them. And then I just have a bag of coleslaw mix, adding some peanuts, and I made my own sauce with some sesame oil, some vinegar, and also with some fresh garlic and ginger. This meal came together in less than 30 minutes. It's a very inexpensive meal to make and yet still extremely delicious. For this next meal, I'm making a pumpkin carbonara, and I am so excited about this one because I love pumpkin everything this time of year. And I am using a fresh pumpkin that we just got. We went to the apple orchard last week and they had some pumpkins out. Baking a pumpkin is obviously a little more time consuming. So if you're trying to make this for a quick meal, you can just use canned pumpkin, but making your own pumpkin is definitely cheaper and very easy. You just use a pike pumpkin. I roast it in the oven for about 40 minutes and then I just scoop it out and it's ready to use. Now I'm also using some bacon from the hog that we raised, and I'm making a homemade sauce with some cream, the pumpkin puree, eggs from our backyard chickens. You all know I love to source all of my foods from local farmers, small shops, or even from my own backyard. One thing I find that's really hard to source from my local grocery store is a good healthy pasta. And so I'm so excited to tell you guys about today's video partner, Wild Grain. Wild Grain is the first ever bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough bread, fresh pasta, and artisan pastries. We have tried their pasta, their sourdough bread, and their croissants, and everything that we've tried so far is so delicious and it's super convenient. Every item bakes in 25 minutes or less. You can enjoy homemade quality whenever you'd like. The other fun thing is that Wild Grain is constantly adding new seasonal limited time special items to try when you build your next box. I'm so glad I finally found a good source for pasta because my family really enjoyed this meal and I plan to make it a lot more throughout the fall season. If you want to check out Wild Grain, be sure to click on my link in the description box and use my code OILY to get $30 off your first box, plus you'll get free croissants in every box. And I will tell you, they are really good, so I know you will love that extra little bonus. All right, for this next meal, this is actually a new meal that we are trying for the first time, and my family absolutely loved it. It's called egg roll in a bowl. Started off by sauteing up some garlic and some ginger and a little bit of oil. And basically, I am making what goes inside of an egg roll without the part of having to make the outside shell and fry them. So very, very easy to make. I am using some ground pork. Again, we have so much pork because of our hog that we recently butchered, and then some vegetables that we had on hand. This was a really good meal to really clean out the refrigerator. It's cabbage, carrots, green onions, lots of yummy stuff that I actually already had on hand. We have so many carrots coming out of our garden right now, so again, very inexpensive because I was using ingredients that are in season currently. I actually have this recipe on my blog, so if you want the exact recipe, I will link it for you guys down below. Again, this one took very little time. It can easily be a weeknight dinner meal, and it was a hit with everybody in my family. For this next meal, I'm making some Korean beef. Now, typically when I make Korean beef, it starts off with either a ribeye or a sirloin or some type of steak, which is obviously a more expensive cut of meat. So for this one, I'm using ground beef, and this recipe turned out so well. Again, comes together very fast. I'm starting off with some of those staple items like garlic and ginger, salt and pepper to season my meat, and then I'm going to work on my sauce. For this cook with me, I looked up different recipes and I was trying to use several of the same ingredients to make it easier. I love whenever I go to the store and I can just kind of stick to a few different ingredients, but to make several different meals. So if you noticed, in a lot of these meals, I stuck with garlic, ginger, soy sauce, which for soy sauce, I usually use coconut aminos instead, but you can use soy sauce instead. And then obviously all of the normal spices, salt, pepper, onion, garlic. It makes it so much easier to use a lot of the same ingredients whenever I'm planning out my meals for the week. All right, and for this last meal, I am making a very fall festive meal of apples and sweet potatoes and chicken. So to start, I'm just browning my chicken in my cast iron skillet. I love to sear meat. It just really helps to lock in that flavor. And then while my meat is searing, I'm cutting up the vegetables that are gonna go inside of this dish. So I'm doing sweet potatoes, apples, onions. We just went apple picking, so we have so many fresh apples right now, and sweet potatoes. This is so delicious for the fall time. And then for my sauce, I am using avocado oil and maple syrup to make a maple glaze that will go on top of my chicken and also my vegetables. Now, one thing I love about this meal is it's very easy to make, and it only requires one dish, which makes cleanup very easy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and be sure to check out my link to wild grains down in my description box below.